about a little bit of artwork that she created this week for a new book that has come out. We've got, of course, Watt Corner. We got Mr. He doesn't have his camera on. Anyway, trust me when I say that Nick is with us.
I'm here.
Behind the producer's desk. And we even have a studio audience this week. Believe it or not, folks, fresh in off the road from Ohio, none other than Ma Gitty. In the studio. She doesn't want to be on camera. That's okay. We're not going to make her, but she's here. So we also this week, you see Glenn is holding the 2-string bass. This week, mostly Glenn, with a little bit of input from me, has been working on some bass tablature. Tablature for the 2-string bass, specifically, you know, like our G-Bass kit, which you can get at cbgitty.com. But the first piece of it was finished up and published this week. We're going to try to walk you through it. A little bit of bass tab lesson. Perhaps the first ever.
Perhaps.
For 2-string bass. I don't know.
It's going to be a good time.
What you got there? You go ahead and, well, we're low on battery, but you can take it. See what we got out there?
Not yet.
We got comments. There they are.
Hey,
don't worry.
Tom Schaefer, ringing in from
technologies.
Ohio. Rick Flank, good to see you, buddy. Who else? We got Keith Rierick, Brian Lehman, Mike, Chris, Clay Clark.
Yeah, buddy.
So, Randy Pepler, it's good to see every single one of you. Thank you very much for joining us on this Friday, for spending a little bit of your valuable time here with the Gitty Gang Show.
Yes, we're going to be announcing the winners of the gift certificates a little bit later in the show. Picked 4 more winners just a little bit earlier today. Also, because it is Friday right now as we speak, at least here in our time zone. I know our Australian friends, it might already be Saturday. But it's $5 Friday on cbgitty.com. I picked out 5 items this week, all of which are like 30% or more off. We've got a set of 4 brass box corner or trunk corners actually.
Can we start with something different? And then I'll get the trunk corners available because they're all.
Well, you can show them intact. Or anyway, before we get to that, we all want to just send our thoughts and well wishes out to everybody down in the path of Hurricane Michael. I know parts of the Panhandle in Florida there got hit horribly hard. I talked to our good buddy Rob Roble, who might be out there. Rob Roble was spared a direct hit there in Destin, Florida, but a little bit further east, Panama City and Mexico Beach really just got flattened. So we're thinking about all of them down there.
Yeah, I know someone that got there. A tree fell on their car. They're in their partner's car. Took them both out.
Serious stuff. So, Brian Lehman says he just got his new Cigar Box Hymnal Volume 2 earlier today. If you don't know, a new Cigar Box guitar songbook released last week. 55 hymns, 180 pages, because there are multiple arrangements of each hymn. Different keys, with chords, without chords, you know, to try to get different vocal ranges and all that. So thank you for ordering that there, Brian. Glad it arrived. See Jim Bird out there.
Roll Tide, Jim Bird.
Jason Gleason, Jittery J.
Jittery J.
Ron Lutz, good to see all of you.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
Shane's up there on comments.
Shane Spiel. Yeah, there he is. So, yeah, $5 Friday. 5 items, normally like $6.50 or more each for $5 each. So, we've got the brass trunk corners.
Getting up in there.
Actually, Nick, if you can you bring up the close-up camera here?
Yeah.
Glenn, come sit back down.
Sit back down.
We've got video wizardry folks here. Don't worry, this is all rehearsed. We're trained professionals.
So
All right.
Let's try this. Let's make sure we're...
Oh boy, look at that. So this is a brass trunk corner. It's a set of 4. These are pretty beefy. You know, these go on the corner of a cigar box. Wish I had a cigar box handy. Show them what it looks like on that corner.
Oh, wow.
It's the kind of corner you'd find on a Foot Locker or...
Yes.
Or like a travel trunk.
Suitcase,
These are beefy things here. Look really cool though.
Yes, they do.
And they protect your corners.
So that's one thing. Thing 2 are 9-volt battery trays. A set of 2 for $5. Virtually $2.50 a piece.
What would you use these for, sir?
Asking me?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Batteries.
well, you'd use them to put 9-volt batteries in
For
for amplifiers,
Yes.
amplifier kits, effects pedals, all sorts of different things. Instead of having to have the battery inside an enclosure, these let you get at the battery from outside.
We could use these for our psycho boards.
Oh,
Use
yeah.
them for the amp kits. What else do we have that's battery powered? The tone distiller.
Yeah, buddy.
See?
All right, number 3 is the Cigar Box Guitar nut and bridge file,
Huzzah.
used for filing string grooves in your nuts and bridges. We've had these for quite a while. They're actually welder tip cleaners, but they have an extra long shaft. Usually the welder tip cleaners have a short shaft, which isn't as easy to use. Found these with the long shafts. They work real good, different diameters in there.
And why would you care about having different diameters, sir?
Because strings are
Because
different
strings
diameters.
are different diameters. Got it.
It's true.
All right.
All right, number 4, a pair of drumsticks. Now, these are not just any drumsticks.
No, sir.
These are handcrafted by our own Jeff Rich out of native hickory. He prints their name on there. These are the 5A workhorses for $5. And Jeff treats these drumsticks with a special treatment method that makes them last 3 to 5 times longer than standard drumsticks.
True.
I watched him do 1,000 strikes
Oh,
on the table
yeah,
saw.
that's right. We had that feature of him whacking the table saw table 1,000 times in a row with one, and it barely dented the head.
Maybe
$5.
more compression, but you could still play with it after that.
I think $5 is just crazy
It's
low
a
for
steal.
that, but I don't know. Who comes up
For
with this stuff?
handcrafted.
A pair of sticks for $5.
I know.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Hickory sticks.
If it was
Handmade.
just one, it'd still be a good deal. Anyway, the 5th and final item is this fretting scale template, which covers scale lengths from 20 inches up to 23. So this is your tenor guitar range, your baritone ukulele range, that kind of thing. A little bit shorter scale. I'm a big fan of the shorter scales. You know, right around 21 inch is, you know, you can reach chords that you can't otherwise reach. So those are the 5 items on sale this week, $5 Friday. Thank you, Glenn, for that fine displayery there. Hey, we're back. All right, so thanks for sticking with us through that.
Vanna Watt.
Hey!
Vanna Watt.
Who's the guy? Randy
Oh,
Pepler.
Randy
Well done, sir.
Pepler. Wow.
Well done, sir.
All right, now we got to go get the wig. Got to get the wig.
Well done. All right.
All right, I smell a new segment coming on.
Do, do,
Vanna Watt.
do, do, do.
Janice Wilson Hughes, good to see you out there, Janice.
Janice, we just got a batch of the ceramic slides from Janice this week. And I gotta say, every time she sends us a batch of slides, there's a nice handwritten or hand-drawn note in there.
You got it.
Thank you, Janice. Every time we get those, it means a lot. We appreciate that. So, as previously briefly mentioned, this week, another new book, the Christmas... I can't reach that far. This is the Christmas Cigar Box Guitar Christmas Songbook, just released this week. It's got 31 classic carols and Christmas songs, multiple arrangements. It's 120 pages, even some blank tab sheets at the back, so you can tab out your own Christmas songs. Now this is, of course, available at cbgitty.com and amazon.com. You can find the songs that aren't, most of the songs that aren't in here, the newer copyrighted songs like Silver Bells and Chestnuts Roasting on it. No, can't say that one. I don't think that one's on there. But anyway, on cigarboxguitar.com for free. Well, this is the core. These are the classic, timeless favorites of the Christmas carols that I know I grew up with. Now, the artwork, I don't know if you saw the front cover of this here book. Show you again.
While you usher in the artist, I'll kind of sidestep.
I'll do the,
All right, nobody panic.
Hey,
we
we have the magic of
we got
technology.
technology. Hey, we
You
got Farley
have a-
entries. There's a close up of her back. There's Glenn.
That was unexpected.
Wow, there's a lot going on here. Boy, technological
Here,
wizardry.
hold it right there, Farley.
Okay.
All right.
Right here.
So this artwork on the front, this drawing of Santa Claus holding a cigar box guitar, was hand drawn from scratch by the lady holding the book up to the camera. And inside here is your original sketch.
Yeah.
So I found an old drawing of Santa Claus from like 1886 by Thomas Nast. Thomas Nast was an artist back in the late 1800s, the Victorian era. But I was saying earlier, his drawings of Santa Claus helped kind of solidify in the mind of the American public what Santa Claus looked like. Kind of the jolly old man in the suit delivering presents. So Farley, you took that drawing.
Yeah.
You didn't trace it, just like kind of looking at it and freehanded.
Yeah.
Now, but you added some things in here.
Yeah. Well, first of all, this was totally your idea, which I love. This is like.
I gotta be honest. It was Shane Spiel's idea.
All right.
I was gonna put a Currier and Ives print on the front of like a sleigh in an old farmhouse.
Well, I was thinking.
And Shane said, "Get Farley to sketch Santa holding a cigar box guitar." I'm like, that's a great idea.
Well, I think that would be fun to take like old classics and then somehow put like cigar
Mash
box
a
guitars
cigar-
in there. But this is totally in my wheelhouse, and you can't see, but like all the hash marks.
Well, you can zoom back in there.
But it really can't like.
Like you're talking about like all the shading, the hash mark shading around the edge.
Hatching, and I'm so into that right now. I just do it forever and ever. So when you gave me that artwork, and then I kind of made it my own with adding some things, just so much.
Because the original's in that same kind of style, pen and ink.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So it came out really good, and you're right. Doing this sort of thing with some more older, famous prints, like basically, the Mona Lisa holding a cigar box guitar.
I think that would be so cool.
We've done a little bit of that with Photoshop, but having an actual new drawing would be cool. So thank you for creating. And she banged it out in like a few hours. I was thinking, we'll go with an interim cover until it's done. She's like, poof, here it is.
It was faster than I thought too. Yeah.
So the cover artwork of the new Christmas songbook.
Right on.
Bye, Farley. Well, thank you.
All right, thank you
buddy.
so much.
Good stuff. All right, well, so this is available now. I think it's $19.99. I don't know if anybody posted a link, and these, just as an extra thing for a limited time, it's spiral bound, binding these in-house here at CB Gitty, and I'm signing them on the front. And probably if you put a request in and the notes of your order, we could get Farley to sign it too. All right. Coming back in?
All right.
Let's welcome Glenn Watt back into the studio here. All right, we're going to go to Shane's video now, him showing off his paint can resonator build. Gives us a little break to catch our breath. I know I've been doing most of the talking so far. But hope you enjoy this video from Shane. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Gitty Gang. Hey, it's Shane Spiel. I'm down in my basement, and I'm going to show off my Tin Pan Alley guitar and what I've been up to with it for the past week. But before that, yes, I'm talking through my beer can microphone. Did you know that's one of the projects that's in the book, Making Poor Man's Guitars? Yeah, this is the book that's Get It at CB Gitty. He's got it now. Shows you how to make a microphone out of a beer can. The cigar box guitars, it shows you my foot stomper, the electric wash tub bass. All those things are covered. So check it out. It's at cbgitty.com. That's how I start this video. Now let's get into it. Here it is, my Tin Pan Alley. I have had a week to spend with this guitar. And just yesterday I posted a video on my YouTube where I talked about how this thing has more of a banjo sound to it. So what I did was I tuned it up to an open A instead of an open G. Open A is A-E-A. And it really gives a great Appalachian sound to it. I mean, this thing, yeah, I painted it crazy. I gave it that retro look. But in all honesty, this has an Appalachian Mountain sound. So for my little video snippet here for the Gitty Gang Show, I thought I would do my version of Amazing Grace on the Tin Pan Alley. So here we go. There you go. I love the Tin Pan Alley. In fact, I am just falling in love with all these new kits that Gitty's coming out with. This is the one I built in the past week. This was the one from the week before, the G-Bass. We've covered that as well. I think the next one I'm going to do is their concert scale Gitty Lely. And I've already got the spray paint, and it's going to be cream and orange matching these two. So I'm going to have 3 Gitty kits all in the same paint scheme. So great job, Gitty. And for the rest of you guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to take it back to the Gitty gang. You guys have an incredible weekend. Make sure you check out cigarboxnation.com. We get the big email hitting tomorrow, and some new stories over there as well. My name's Shane Spiel. Guys, get the new book, Making Poor Man's Guitars. Get it at CB Gitty right now. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Shane, for that. That's, you know, he always, like I was saying, he finds a way to make it his own, and the results are always pretty amazing. So, right now, I just want to briefly talk about some big changes that happened this week on the CB Gitty website, cbgitty.com. We rolled out a new look and feel, new functionality to the site, the goal of which is something we've talked about a lot. What was the goal?
Well, to make it a more user-friendly site so it's easier to find the things that you want.
Exactly. As the CB Gitty catalog of products continues to grow, it has become harder and harder to find certain specific things on the site. Out of, what is it, 1,300 or 1,400 different products now, finding that exact thing that you want has gotten harder. You know, kind of lost in the crowd. Well, this new rollout of the site design hopefully helps alleviate that. The initial responses we've got back, Michael Capato says he loves it. We appreciate your feedback on that, because I was really hoping that people would like it, because if they did, I'm like, oh crap, now what? Anyway, well, Nick has figured out how to actually get a live screenshot of the site up on the screen here. So he's going to bring that up, and we'll keep talking, and he'll kind of show you some of the stuff we're talking about. So here's what the site looks like now. A little bit different color scheme, a little bit different layout. The main thing, one of the main things he just showed you there, when you mouse over one of the categories, in the upper left-hand side there, it has this fly-out menu that pops out that shows you everything underneath that. So say underneath the guitar parts or the kits, that flies out there, and you can quickly and easily see the subcategories of products and drill down and find the stuff you want. So that's a big one. We're going to be working on revamping those subcategories to make sure they are effective and pertinent as possible to make it easier for you. Looks like we got an echo going on. Anyway, echo.
Part of what I like about it so much is that, unlike the former theme that we had, or the former website, the recently former website, was that it took sometimes a little explanation on where to find something, whereas in this case, everything is pretty much, I think, a testament to it being a good theme or a good website is that there's very little explanation involved. You can kind of scroll around like Nick's doing right now on that front page and find exactly what you need by scrolling over like the left-hand columns and whatnot, and even so much so that
You got it.
even so much so that you can, whereas before we have like a blog on the cbgitty.com, and unfortunately you probably couldn't have found it otherwise on the old site, but in this case, if you just scroll down, there it is in the lower left hand corner. There's featured products right there on the front page, easily identifiable tabs that you can scroll through, either featured, new, or what was the other? Anyway,
best-selling, new.
Yeah.
So like on the front page there, it breaks down some of the most popular categories, and you can, anyway, a lot of good stuff. The checkout process is faster.
Oh yeah, what about Apple Pay?
We've added Apple Pay as a payment option, so if you are on an Apple device and have Apple Pay set up, you can use that. You can also now tell it to store your credit card information. And what that does is, on our secure back-end credit processing site, not our own site or not the storefront itself, it will actually store that info for you, so you don't have to enter it every time. So hopefully a lot of good functionality improvements to make the site easier to use.
It's just very crisp, very clean, easy to navigate. The colors are nice. Even if you don't like the blue or the red per se, it's just everything has a nice, clean look to it. Things are, like I said, easy to navigate, easy to find. And I guarantee you, if you spend more than a couple minutes on there, you're going to find stuff just by mousing around. You'll find stuff that you wouldn't have known otherwise that we have. Yeah. And the mobile design also, like a testament to a good theme or a good website, is how it looks on a mobile device. Whether you're using a tablet, such as an iPad, or whether you're using your phone, the site looks and navigates really well on a mobile device. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's good stuff.
I am too. I hope, and the feedback we're getting is good. So Michael Capato asks, can you easily transfer from a wish list to a shopping cart? I don't think so yet. I have had that request in with the developers for feels like years. You know, you build a wish list, just one button to transfer it all to your cart. I still don't think they've added it. I sure wish they would. So
another thing that's been revamped too is the searching. It's a lot better than it used to be.
Oh, yes.
And I'm going to be optimizing it because I'm sure there's new keywords and all that. But you know, it'll pop up the minute you start typing in. So like I showed earlier, Tin Pan Alley. Here, it'll show up anything that has that keyword in it. So I'm going to have to revitalize the keywords, but you know, it's pretty much a, you know, if you're looking for medium fret wire, you know, you type in medium and it'll pop up, and it'll pop up with that window there. So it's definitely a lot easier to search for things. If you don't want to go through the menus, you can just use that search bar and you'll find it quicker. And as Ben said, we're going to optimize it here more as we go. So.
All right. So that's enough about that. If you haven't been over to cbgitty.com lately, browse over and check it out.
Yes.
And hopefully you'll like what you see. Vince McAdams asked, how much for a Farley signed copy of the new book? Same price as the regular copy, $19.99, I think. And that's for the spiral bound, hand bound here in the CB Gitty workshop. We've got the official bound one, you know, the glue bound one coming soon. But for now, you can get the spiral bound. I know some people strongly prefer spiral bound, so it'll lay flat.
But to reiterate, if you want a Farley signed copy, you may want to make a note of that in your order, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When you place your order, add a note to the order asking to have Farley sign it. All right.
Hey!
Now it's time for a little bit of how-to. Usually we show you how to play cigar box guitar. Today's a little bit different. I'm going to do a bass lesson, the 2-string G bass, same kit that you saw Shane playing in his video. Glenn Watt over here playing. Now, we're going to try something else new today. Per your request, per viewer requests, we're going to try giving you a close-up of Glenn's fretting hand during the lesson. I want to say very quickly, to be entered in this week's giveaway for gift certificates, share this broadcast publicly, whether it's during the live broadcast right now or if you're watching it later, share it on your own timeline, and you'll be entered to win a $50 gift certificate from cbgitty.com. We'll be announcing, what's that?
This is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Well, ask me anyway.
When are we going to hear about who won last week's giveaway?
Just a little bit, Glenn. All right, so Nick's going to bring up the video wizardry here. Here is the tab snippet, the first 2 lines of the classic Hank Williams song, Your Cheating Heart. Your Cheatin' Heart, I guess. There's no G on cheatin'. So you can see Glenn's fretting hand here, up here on the fretboard, and you can also see his picking hand down there. Now he's not using a pick, because when you play the bass, usually you're using your thumb or your first finger. So we're going to be doing this song in the key of G. Now you can see at the bottom of the screen there, I realize if you're on a phone it's going to be awfully small. But it's the first 2 lines of this tablature. This is the tablature we featured this week for Free Tab Thursday, just yesterday in fact. You can go on cigarboxguitar.com. I believe we've got a link to it that can be posted in here. And you can download this, print it out. Now, this tab looks a little different than 3-string cigar box guitar tab. You can see it only has 2 lines, 2 horizontal lines here that represent the 2 strings of the bass. The bottom line on the tablature represents this lower G string here, which is actually on top while you're playing. And the top line of the tablature represents this D string here, which is on the bottom while you're playing. Now, the bass is a rhythm instrument, which makes it a little trickier to represent what it does in tablature, because tablature doesn't really tell you anything about rhythm. So we have to rely pretty heavily on the words of the song. And what is the one other thing you need to know before using a piece of tab to play a song?
It helps to know the song.
How
It really
the song
does.
goes.
Yeah.
To have listened to it like on YouTube or off a record, having an idea of how the song goes will help you line up the notes and the words.
Unlike conventional music notation, which is a language by which you can determine notes and rhythm and whatnot, tablature is a very basic language.
Yeah.
So not knowing the song beforehand, it will be extraordinarily difficult to learn a song through tablature. So like Ben said, knowing a song beforehand is going to make this infinitely easier.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you can't learn a song, brand new song, just from tab, because there's nothing in it that tells you how long to hold a note, no rhythm in there. But, so,
Yes.
if you look at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see this song starts off with a little bit of intro, and that letter above the line, and let's see, over here, represents the D chord. So when we start this, I'm going to be playing the D chord, and Glenn, you're going to, yeah. All right, so here we go. So he's going to start by hitting that D string open and then fret the G string on the second fret there. So that's just the intro portion there, and you can see he was playing exactly what's shown there on the tablature. Now it's when we get to the part where the words are indicated that you'll find that the beat, like when Glenn is hitting the note, will usually fall on a syllable, either the start or the middle part of a word. And that's because the words are spaced so that they follow the beat, in other words. So, all right, so we're going to do this intro again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you when tears come down like falling rain. You'll toss around and call my name. Gonna walk the floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you. So if you were following along now, I know we only had the first 2 lines of the tab visible on the screen, but like I say, you can download this from cigarboxguitar.com and print it out. And here's a pro tip. Here's a little hack, a workaround. Even if you don't have a 2-string G bass tuned to GD, if you do have a 3-string cigar box guitar tuned to GDG, you can play the bass tab just on these 2 lower pitch strings here. Ignore the high G and just use these 2, and you can play the bass tab. Now it's not going to sound like the bass because it's a couple of octaves higher, but you could at least practice it and start to get a feel for it.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be doing more tab, bass tab, perhaps even someday have a songbook to go along with it for some of these songs to help. The whole idea of this, of the kit, of the tab, is to get people playing the bass who might not have ever thought of playing a bass at all. I know I never did. I was like, bass, but it's pretty cool once you get into it. So,
cool.
Someone pointed out, Jim Burt pointed out, this is a fretless bass. There are no metal frets on there. The G-Bass kit is available either fretted or unfretted. And believe it or not, we don't have a fretted version built here at CB Gitty.
Right, yeah.
Shane built, Shane's was fretted, and we sent one to David Comtois that was unfretted.
It's on its way.
Yeah, I think, Nick, you're going to be putting one together.
So it's in production as
Oh,
we
it's
speak.
glue drying as we
Yes.
speak. Yeah, buddy. So we'll soon have a fretted bass.
Awesome.
Gordon McCranner out there, I'm glad you like the look of it. We're pretty happy. We shipped an awful lot of them out. So the bass wave is building.
Yes.
Not cresting
Not
yet.
cresting.
Not cresting. It's not even close to cresting. So yeah, the bass is an amazing thing. Of course, the paint can lid resonator that Shane was showing off. A lot of good stuff happening. And even more about to be announced. Just sent out a package of prototypes to our good friend Marty Talbert today.
Oh.
Yeah, buddy. Good stuff.
Doesn't he have something this weekend?
He does.
He's got a little workshop up in Biddeford, Portland.
Yeah, our good friend Marty Talbert. I haven't seen him out there today. He's probably getting ready for his workshop. A maker fair,
Yeah.
I believe. And he's going to have a booth there. And we donated 6 Canjo kits to Marty. He's going to build a Canjo once. He's there for 6 hours. Once per hour, he's going to pick a kid out of the crowd.
Love
and
it.
they're going to build a Canjo, and
Love
he'll
it.
send him home with it. So
Yeah, buddy.
that'll be cool.
That's the stuff.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so like I say, more bass tab, more bass how-to. We're going to try to film some videos because, you know, like we were saying, you need to know the song. Well, if we do a video, then that's a good way to learn the song, isn't
Got
it?
it.
So, all right, it's now.
Is it?
Do your own lead-in.
Whoops.
There it is.
Hey!
What corner, everybody?
Come on now.
Woo!
Don't walk too far. Let's go.
I'm going nowhere.
Excellent. Not going to drag you all out for too long. So this week, welcome back to Watt Corner. This is where you submit things to us, and we turn around and share them with the rest of the world because we are proud of you and what it is that you do. I'm proud of notes.
Lots
There
of
we go.
notes.
Lots of notes. First up, my good man Nick, who's always kind and patient with working with me on this Watt Corner deal.
Come on.
Hello now. First up, we got Rob V. Rob V's got this. Speaking of G basses, his fully assembled G bass kit, which I love what Rob VH has done with this thing.
Like a
Rob,
cherry burst?
essentially, it's like a
Oh,
tobacco
sorry,
burst.
don't
No,
mean
no.
to-
But Rob just writes, I'll make it brief. Rob writes that he had a great experience building his G bass, stained with leather dye to get a sort of tobacco burst, and then finished with true oil gunstock finish, and he thinks it sounds great, and I agree with you. I think these things sound terrific. And moreover, what I appreciate about what Rob V has done with his G bass is that he, like Shane, he has made it his own. It's fine and dandy, all things told, to leave it just like this.
Blank slate.
But it's great when you take a moment out of your day, a few moments probably, to make it your own. And I think that's a great job. So thank you very much, Rob V, for sharing with us. Next up is Mitch D. Now, Mitch has been a long-time CB Gitty customer and a contributor to the website, is always sending in his stuff. And I think it's just, I would be remiss if I didn't share something of his. And this is one of the things that stood out to me recently about Mitch D from Dringman Guitars. And about this, which you can see his uniquely shaped body, he writes that he has put in snake oil pickups, because he's a huge fan of the snake oils, as many of us are.
Yeah,
Juke jack pickup, as you can see over the sound hole. So he's got a snake oil pickup, the new Juke Shack pickup that's right over the sound hole there, and a piezo as well. So the guy's got a triple threat: snake oil, Juke Shack pickup, and a piezo in there. He built it on a 25.5-inch scale, oak and purple heart neck, fretboards pet oak with medium nickel fret wire and gold hardware. And most important, the reason I pulled this out of the pot is because he is using something I'm almost guaranteeing you don't know that we have. But now with the new website, maybe it'll be easier for you to find, and that is that, help me with the pronunciation, Tisco style vibrato bridge tailpiece.
Call it the pork chop.
The thing is awesome. It's basically a whammy bar, but cooler. So good stuff, Mitch. I'm glad you shared that with us, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get something that some of your fantastic artwork on here, but here it is, and thank you very much. Next up, from our good man Jimmy C. This is his hobo fiddle.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
buddy.
And I'll tell you what, I just wanted to get you that full shot there. And Nick, if you don't mind hitting up the next one too, and just kind of leaving it there on the next one. A little bit closer up, you can see that Jimmy C has used the hobo fiddle fretboard, which has genuine hobo glyphs on it that Ben himself has researched, found, and then reproduced here, and then put them on fretboards for you to put on your hobo fiddle. Now, if I may, I'm not going to read the whole thing. However, Jimmy wrote in a short story to accompany his hobo fiddle. And much like last week, where I shared you Chuck K's story, I'm going to share just a fraction of Jimmy C's story. And I encourage you, however, to find the rest of Jimmy C's awesome written hobo story on cbgitty.com in the blog section, which, as it so happens on the new website, is down in the lower left-hand corner. Now, Jimmy C writes about this. When I was a little kid, my family was living in a little western Pennsylvania river town called Beaver Falls. One of the main lines of the Pennsylvania and Lake Erie Railroad ran right behind our house. Once or twice every summer, we would have an unannounced visitor at our house. There'd be a sharp rap at our kitchen door, and this unmistakable voice would sing out, "Women of the house." My mother would answer the door with me in tow, and there he'd be, a real live hobo. This is a true story, by the way. There's nothing fictionalized here. Now, there was always talk amongst us kids about a hobo camp down by the river, and we all had a tale or two, completely made up, of course, about our own personal encounters with hobos. But here was one right at my kitchen door. Madame, he'd say, or would it be Madam? Madam, he'd say, a little honest work for breakfast. My mother, taskmaster that she always was, has something for him to do. Move a pile of bricks, pull some weeds, anything, something. When she thought his labor equaled food, she'd call him to the kitchen door with a couple of eggs, a couple pieces of toast, and a cup of black coffee. He'd sit on the porch steps and eat that breakfast like he was never going to eat again. Who knows? Meals were probably few and far between for him. This hobo was the dirtiest and skinniest fellow I had ever set eyes on. He wore a suit and vest, what at one time passed for a white shirt and a hat, but he'd stand and tip his hat and thank my mother, and this old scarecrow of a man would saunter off in the direction of the railroad tracks. We might see him again that summer, and we might not. We never knew. And one summer he didn't show up at all, and I never saw him again. And I remember thinking that maybe he got a job, maybe he was traveling in another part of the country, or maybe he just went home. And that, sir, is the story that Mr. Jimmy C shared of this hobo fiddle, and I love having you guys share that kind of stuff with us, because it's something really inspiring to have that sort of context surrounding your artwork shared with us that we can all hear about it. So thank you very much, Jimmy C. I think that's super awesome. Somebody that this young man met over at the Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival this past August.
Yes, sir.
All right, last up, Michael C. Michael Capato shared this awesome image of what he built inspired by making Poor Man's Guitars, written by the king of the cigar box guitar, Shane Spiel. And Michael wrote in an awesome story, which you'll have to go check out. There is a link to it, but if it gets shared, it's to the website. But Michael's longer story. But I'm just going to share you a little bit about what Michael wrote. And he says, I can't even begin to talk about how amazing Shane Spiel's book is to me. Not only is it chock full of practical builder's tips and great stories about Shane and his passion for guitars, but as someone who loves history, especially of the folk music and histories from the instruments from the Civil War to the 1950s, the guitarcheology sections of Shane's book are my favorite part of the book, especially since Shane shows us clearly how to recreate them. So, what Michael built here from one of those sections is the Portland Cowboy 2-stringer, which he needed a can, reclaimed wood for the neck, handmade frets, and antique tuners, for which he got the can from a local nonprofit resale shop, the neck from another resale shop in his area, Detroit, that demolishes old buildings and makes use of those materials. The frets are made from broomstick wire from a friend of ours who has an Etsy shop, One String Willie, was selling broomstick wire, broom wire, and Michael Capato used that for the frets, guided by Shane's video where he twists copper wire onto a neck. And then he has antique tuners using vinegar and patience, again, to antique the tuners for this particular instrument. Now, Michael confessed, which you will read for yourself, that he actually couldn't get CB Gitty tuners to tarnish because ours are too nice. He had to go find some others some other lesser products to tarnish more easily.
We'll allow it.
But we allowed it, and he was very nice about it. So, but he closes it with, he can't recommend enough. If you haven't already, get Shane Spiel's book, Making Poor Man's Guitars. And thank you very much, Michael C., Jimmy C., thank you very much, Mitch D., and Rob V., and they all rhymed. And that is Watt's Corner. Hey!
Hey-o!
All right, then.
All right, well, you've waited did. Thank you for that.
Thank
man.
you.
A very nice walk. I love those hobo fiddle stories that people are coming up with. It's really, really good stuff. So now, without further ado, I mentioned a little bit ago to be entered in this week's drawing for one of 4 $50 gift certificates to cbgitty.com. All you have to do is share this broadcast publicly here on Facebook. Now, the winners of last week's drawing, drawn by me randomly just this morning from all of the 215 people who shared last week's show. We have winner number 1, Mr. Danny Weddle.
Yes!
Danny Weddle, a longtime viewer, fan of the show. Number 2 is Wally Thurman. I think Wally is short for Wolfgang. Mr. Thurman, thank you and congratulations.
Nice.
Number 3, our good friend, probably still out there, Rick Flink.
Yeah,
Rick Flink got himself a gift certificate. And finally, Brett Gaskell. Brett Gaskell, if you just heard your name as one of the 4 winners, send us a message, a little bit different this week. Send a message to the Cigar Box Nation Facebook page, not to me personally. The Cigar Box Nation page. It'll have a better chance of being noticed in a timely manner. And it's the page that this show originates from, so it makes sense. Send a message, claim your prize, and we will get it over to you. Once again, that's Danny Weddle, Wally Thurman, Rick Flink, and Brett Gaskell. Congratulations, folks.
What's next, Ben?
I think that's about it.
Hey-o.
Any announcements? We already did the Marty thing.
I think the Michiganders got a meeting this weekend, but I can't. Don't quote me on that.
I'm not going to quote you on that.
Up in Petoskey, Michigan.
All right, very good. Well, thank you, everyone. We're running a little under
What's up,
schedule this
early
week.
guys?
I thought we were going to be way over this week. Seemed like a lot of stuff.
So who joined us this week? Let's see.
Let's just read everyone's name in
Everybody
alphabetical order.
Everybody's gonna get a love.
I saw Louis Lamana had mentioned the my top secret announcement that I had started spouting off about now a week and a half ago. Still holding that one in the bag. Don't worry, it's coming
That's
soon.
awesome. You're gonna love it.
Coming soon.
You're gonna love
I
it.
just want it to be ready,
Yeah.
you know? But I can say that, oh look, Rick Flink is still out there. Congrats, Rick. And no beating up on Marty to tell you what it is, because that's what I sent to Marty, or some prototypes. Anyway, hope you all have a great weekend. Again, our thoughts go out to the folks down in Florida and the Carolinas and wherever that storm, it's like it came out of nowhere. It's like you hardly heard anything about it, and suddenly, jeez. All right, let's sing a song. Well, it's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Station TV. Yes, it's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Station TV. And we came to you live from CB Gitty. Well, it's the Gitty Gang, oh, we won't have now. How's the show? How's the song? Wasn't ready for the last verse yet. It comes to you tight. Do what we can, folks. Do what we can. All right, here we go. Well, all you need is a sticker box and some strings. Say all you need is a sticker box and some strings. Well, you put them all together, you know they're gonna ring. Well, it's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Oh, oh. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV.
Hey.
All right, well, we'll be with you next time, folks. One of the reasons for ending today's show early is so that I can get the heck out of here and show my Ma Gitty here around this beautiful part of New Hampshire a little bit. Get out of the office and out into the wild. So we will see you all again next week.